Welcome back, awesome action toy fans and subscribers. I'm going to review Marvel Legends, is it Ulik or Ulik and Marvel Legends Bor together, not individually, because they're part of the same box set, which I don't have, which comes with 5 figures. It was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive, apparently, don't know when. But I managed to pick these 2 up like this. I could have bought all 5, but these are the only 2 that I really wanted. There were a couple of others that were of interest to me, but I can pick them up later if I want for relatively cheap. So I've got my trusty blue box cutter knife. I've had this for years now. It's still sharp. Let me just cut some tape and we can dive in and have a look what these are and have a simple or very easy comparison with a couple other figures maybe, or at least one other figure anyway. Okay. So let me have a look. Hello, wasn't expecting that. Wow. He is got a bit of weight to him. This Ulik or Ulik. If there's a different pronunciation, someone try and explain in comments how it is. Okay, and let's have a look at Bor. Okay, so out of the box, Bor doesn't stand. You have to adjust him, his ankles or his body a little bit. But Ulik or Ulik has got these great big feet, so he stands very nicely, whereas Bor needs a bit of adjustment. And then he can stand. Okay, so let's look at Bor after. In fact, I'll put him over here, and you can still. In fact, I'll put him over here, and you can still have a look and admire him while I'm looking at the other figure. Stay. God damn it, stay. Okay. So I have got the Marvel Infinite Series version of him, the 3.75 inch, or I should say 1/18 scale. I'll stick in the videos. Sculpt. I like that face sculpt. That is really, really nice. I do like that a lot. Those eyes are menacing. The teeth are good. I'm not so sure about the hair that looks like horns. That just looks a bit, I don't know, not great. I'd rather have that as more hair-like as opposed to horn-likes. But there you go. Beggars can't be choosers. The armor looks pretty cool as well. And he's got this nice sort of metallic look to it. The only thing I'll say, if you look on the front and the back, some of it looks like it's missing some of the scales. Like here, there's a hole, like it's missing an armor scale on the front too. Feet look cool. These 2 sort of toed feet. He's got 5 fingers and 4 fingers and a thumb, so he's got the same digits as we have on his hands, just not his feet. Let's look at his articulation. He feels a bit stiff, but he should have thick joints, not so easy to break, hopefully. Left and right, very easy. Down and up. God blimey, I don't think he can go down at all. Let's have a look. Nope. Take his head off, he can go down and up. Oh, but that is really, oh my word, that is ridiculously stiff to try to go down. Up, I can go 1, down is almost stuck. But his, if I was to loosen it up, I think he might go down 1, but his chin will get in the way. Tiny sort of side to side here, almost like he's dancing. Shoulders. Popped out a joint, thank you for that, Marvel. Ooh. And Hasbro. Cool. They are not great. That is really not good. You get it to a certain point and any height, it pops the shoulders out of joint, as you can see. So that is a shame. Bicep bend, it's a single joint. I get more than that. But he does look great. Wrists, he has wave articulation on each side. But there's not a lot of movement on the backwards because of the sculpt. But forwards is quite a bit. Trunk is an ab crunch, but again the sculpt going backwards is excuse me, alright, doesn't really get much. Forwards, he'll get to there and he'll stop. That's okay, I guess. And he has a waist turn, but you get these little waist parts here exposed, looking a bit funny if you do that. Hips, outwards is not far, forwards is okay, backwards is non-existent. And he does swivel from the hips. Double knee joint or single knee joint? Let's have a look. He has a single knee joint, but he still gets just about 90 degrees. And his ankles do this, turning outwards and inwards. They do not twist. You have to twist from the thigh. Here's a tippy toe. Make a great ballerina. And his dorsal flexation, his Michael Jackson, pretty damn impressive. Tee-hee. So articulation, yeah, not great, but I still like him. He just looks so good. And really easy to stand with these big feet, which I really like. Okay, so let's swap position. So you get to admire him. But maybe I'll stick him looking down a little bit so you can see his face a bit clearer. Okay, and let's look at Bor. So I look at his shield first. Really nice. Just silver plastic and a sort of wood colour. I would be tempted to paint all the silver black and then dry brush it in silver and give a much more better metal effect. And then the wood, it can stay the same. Yeah, but I'd be tempted to ink it and dry brush it. Or maybe undercoat it again to start. But the back, you have to spray the whole thing black and start again. That's just nothing there. And you've got this nice handle which is on a pivot, which is great for certain postures and positions, I'm sure. His axe does look really good. It's a bit bent, but that's okay. Again, for this, I'd be tempted to just undercoat it and just paint it from scratch, and that look amazing. The only thing is, because it's quite bendy, when you paint stuff, if it's going to flex, it just makes the paint crack and come off easier. So I'll be tempted to undercoat it, then do a matte varnish, and then dry brush it and ink it, and then do another coat of varnish as well. And maybe something similar for this. Okay, we'll see how it holds in a minute. Okay, so sculpt. That face is sublime. That's such a good sculpt. The helmet's quite nice. The horns have got a bit of a movement to them, not so rigid. The beard is a bit rigid, which is worrying. The shoulder pads are going to impede his articulation a little bit. The inking on the shoulder pads on his chest armor is really nice. But you could do a bit of dry brush and make it pop a bit more. The leather straps could do with maybe some dry brushing, highlighting. Same, you want some inking on this sort of chainmail, his abs underneath, the fur. The belt is really nicely inked. You can see here, it doesn't appear on camera so much. And again, his legs are a bit shiny. You may want to do some work on that. And the lower leg with these sort of, I don't know, called ankle warmers as well. But he looks fantastic. Do these come off, I wonder, or do they move at all? Oh, they do. Good. Because they are really going to affect his ankle articulation. I'll be tempted to shift them up. In fact, let me see if I can move them up now. Or are they really, really secured on too tight? Because it'd be much easier for him to stand if those are slightly higher up. Okay, that one's moved, I can see. Can I move the other one a little bit, maybe? That's moved a little bit too. Now I can get some more movement in his ankles a little bit. Okay, so articulation. First thing I'm going to say is, and this is one thing I don't like, is his armor makes him walk around like this, like I'm the biggest guy in the gym, you know, I've got imaginary big lats. You know, I'd rather his arms could get a bit like Ulik's here, flatter towards his chest. Give a look at that face. Very nice. So, head can look left and right. There is some movement in the horns and a little bit in the beard. Can dip side to side quite nicely. Down, not really. Up a little bit. Shoulders. He can get to 90. Even with the shoulder pads, just about 180, 90 each. Bicep bend, of course there is a swivel on the bicep, I should point out. These shoulder pads might get in the way. Single joint, I much prefer double joint on a big figure like this. He gets to just under 90 each arm. The little wrist parts you can see here, they are movable, which is good. Hands both have again the wave articulation on both sides. Don't really need gun articulation for fantasy style figures, unless they have guns, I guess. Waist forwards, yeah, a little bit. Backwards, not really. The armor sort of gets in the way. Without that armor, which you could take off. Where does it join? Armor, oh, let's see, it looks like it joins here maybe. No, looks like it's maybe one piece. The armor, I'll be tempted to, I don't want to cut it off, it looks great, but you have to cut it off really to get him out. But then you're gonna have a different color on his body underneath to his flesh on his neck, it looks like. Never mind. He can turn, not any overlap, you can, is very tiny, hard to see, which is cool. Outwards, pretty damn good, look at that. And he can turn his feet to almost get flat like that too. Pretty impressive. Forwards, his clothes getting away a little bit, so it sort of drags it down, not great. Backwards, again the clothes getting away, so not great. There is a thigh turn, he has a double kneecap, but the sculpt and the clothes getting away again, but he does get just over 90 degrees. Ankles, he can't turn the feet, only by the thigh. His tippy toe, God, his fingers on his legs, lower legs, his leggings do get in the way, but he can do a decent tippy toe. His dorsal flexation, his Michael Jackson is alright, not great. And again, his feet can do this and the other way. This. Not bad, not bad. He's pretty cool. Okay, let's see how he is with his too much mead and Viking rum, I guess. Or what's Viking rum? Wine? Mead? I don't know. Let's see how he is with his weapons. And his shield. So let's make him a how was he in the box? He was holding the shield with his right hand or his left hand? I can't remember. Was it his left hand? Because that's on the right. Okay. Looking at his hands. They are nearly identical, not quite mirror image as I can make out here. They're nearly identical, not quite. The thumb on his left goes slightly further down than on his right. That's like a minor difference, but I can see that. So you've got a handle, which he could hold. And you've also got the wrist part here, which should clip over his wrist. But you can't do both. I think I prefer to clip over his wrist. Then his axe, there's quite a bit of give in the fingers. You can see his fingers bend quite easily. Which is good because the handle on the axe is actually really quite wide. Now the parts of him holding his arms out does work for effect. If he's like this, he just looks like, yeah, I'm ready. Bring it on. These are a great pair of fantasy figures. I've only got a few Marvel Legends. I've also got another great fantasy one, Hercules, who I stick in suggested videos for the Marvel Legends. He's really good. I've got the big, and I've also got the small one, which is the Infinite or Universe, I forget. But I'll put in my suggested videos too. Let's see how they compare to another Marvel's Legend. This one is not fantasy looking, but I'll use him in my fantasy. And this is Wendigo. This is a B.A.F. So normally the B.A.Fs are bigger, but these two guys are big brutes anyway. And you can see that they both scale very well with him. In fact, he's only a little bit taller than both of them. These are great looking figures. I think they are really cool. Of course, Wendigo me instead of the videos. I have another B.A.F nearby I can compare them to. Who shall I use? I'll use Crimson Dynamo. I've also got Kree Sentry, but not enough space in my set of videos now. And you see that they are actually both a touch taller than Crimson Dynamo. A great pair of figures. I really like them a lot. I'm glad I picked them up, even though I'm mainly a 1/18 scale collector. These are great, and I'm going to get a few more sort of fantasy figures from Marvel, etc. And also Mythic Legions, which I haven't even opened or reviewed yet, because I love fantasy stuff, really, you know. So, as my wife will tell you. Okay, this is Awesome Action Toys. I am signing out saying please like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back to more Awesome Action Toy videos for you. Stay happy, keep collecting, and check out the other content because there's loads of stuff, mainly 1/18 scale, some 124, some 120, some 112, etc. Bye-bye.